my sister Esther Koba, Ministers of State present here, Honorable Godfred Kabeyanga, who's a guest from Uganda, Minister of State, Madam Natasha Pavlovic, Arik, you were on stage with that beautiful Michael Jackson song. I used that song myself in the UN in 2016 to deliver my message to the world. It's a powerful song. And then Ambassador of the Republic of Serbia is here with us, council members of the Institute of Public Relations, ladies and gentlemen, our friends, and friends of the media. I believe that it is a great joy for me to be here with you today among my fellow communications professionals. And I warmly wish to welcome our international guests who have traveled to Ghana for this all-important knowledge-sharing conference. I speak not only as the President of the Republic of Ghana, but also as a proud member and indeed a fellow of the Institute of Public Relations, Ghana. And also as a member of the African Public Relations Association. The expressions of solidarity we have heard this morning from leaders of IPR Ghana, APRA, and IPRA embody the true spirit of international partnership. And so I wish to congratulate IPRA on reaching 70 years of professional excellence. That is 7 decades of building credibility, trust, and global networks. Earlier this year, soon after I assumed office, the IPR Ghana Council, led by my sister Esther Koba, visited me at the presidency. And they shared with me the plans for this very conference and for the Golden World Awards to be hosted here in Accra. I was delighted because I immediately recognized that these events mean not only for the growth of our profession, but also for positioning Ghana as a hub for international dialogue in communications and public relations. And it's significant that this gathering comes just weeks after we celebrated our Founders' Day on September 21st in honor of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, our nation's first president. And he was one of Africa's most visionary leaders. Indeed, his words in Addis Ababa in 1963, where he said, "We must unite or we perish." These words remain as relevant today as they were 6 decades ago when they were spoken. It is therefore fitting that Accra now hosts the headquarters of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which is one of the flagship projects of the AU's Agenda 2063, seeking to deepen Africa's integration and prosperity. And so in many ways, we stand today on the shoulders of Nkrumah's vision for unity, strength, and collective progress. The strong mandate my party, the National Democratic Congress, received in last December's election was a call to rescue, reset, and renew our country. When I took office in January, Ghana faced a challenging situation. We had an unsustainable debt, we had high inflation, and a loss of confidence both at home and abroad. And I'm pleased to report that the urgent reforms that we started implementing have led to a gradual improvement in our economic situation. Inflation has decreased, the currency is relatively stable, business confidence has risen, FDI inflows have increased, and our credit rating has improved from junk to B- with a stable outlook. But at the core of our reset agenda must be not only transparency and accountability in governance, but also clarity in how we communicate with our citizens so that they can be involved in the journey of transformation that we are undertaking. And one of the most urgent issues facing us today is the destruction caused by illegal mining, commonly known as galamsey. This activity has resulted in river pollution, deforestation, and the exposure of our citizens to toxic chemicals. And so since taking office, My government has responded decisively, seizing equipment, making arrests, and monitoring excavators. But enforcement alone is not enough, and that is why we've introduced the Responsible Cooperative Mining and Skills Development Program. This initiative supports legal cooperative mining, it restores degraded lands, and offers alternative livelihoods to our youth who are involved in this illegal activity. But despite some success in combating this illegal activity, there is much anxiety amongst our people because we have failed to convey the full extent of the destruction and the difficult battle needed to root out a problem that has deeply embedded itself in our nation's fabric. And that is why government has decided to initiate a dialogue with recognized groups, starting with CSOs today, to not only involve Ghanaians, but also give them ownership of the fight against illegal mining. Future dialogues will be held with traditional rulers and religious leaders. And I'm pleased that IPR Ghana, in a robust statement they issued in 2024, called for the adoption of a comprehensive behavior change communication strategy as part of the national response to Galamsey. I support that vision 100%. Because without communication, mobilization, and community ownership, enforcement cannot succeed. Today, the new media offers us the tools to connect with our audiences in ways that were previously impossible. However, these same tools can also enable miscommunication and the spread of disinformation. And so as professionals in public communications, we need to identify the most effective ways to manage these new media channels to positively shape the perceptions and attitudes of our audience. Another key theme of this conference, public relations and artificial intelligence, is timely because technology offers vast opportunities. AI can enhance productivity, support climate initiatives, and improve storytelling in our profession. However, as I reminded the world at the UN General Assembly last week, it also carries risks. AI can be misused to spread disinformation, sow division amongst people, and undermine trust. For Africa, the challenge is to adopt AI ethically and strategically, developing our own frameworks that uplift our people, even as we build partnerships with the rest of the world. At its best, public relations is about forging connections between leaders and their citizens, between governments and their communities, between nations and their regions, and also between tradition and innovation. Clear communication is always crucial for supporting any initiative or policy in this current era. A good example is the Japanese Africa Hometowns Initiative. I'm sure some of you would have heard about it. And this is an initiative that was aimed at twinning Japanese towns and cities with their African counterparts for cultural exchange and knowledge sharing. Enter misinformation. Misinformation that the initiative was aimed at facilitating African migration to Japan led to strong public resentment, resulting, unfortunately, in the canceling of the program. A well-meaning idea became a victim of poor communications and misunderstanding. It reminds us all that our role as communications professionals is to anticipate, explain, and connect to ensure that the noble ideas that we have do not fail because of a lack of clarity and engagement. This year, the African Union has designed 2025 to 2030 as a decade of reparations. And I've been honored to serve as the AU champion on reparations. Reparations for the transatlantic slave trade are not a matter of clarity, but they are a matter of justice. Because the facts are clear. Millions of Africans were enslaved, transported across the seas, and forced to build wealth for other nations. When abolition of slavery arrived, it was the slave owners who were compensated for loss of property, and that property was human beings, and not the enslaved or the descendants of slaves. That injustice, I dare say, remains the greatest crime against humanity to date. And like I said at the UN, Ghana intends to move a motion to that effect at the UN General Assembly next year. And so when we talk about reparations, voices like Professor Sir Hilary Beckless of the CARICOM Reparations Commission have rightly described reparations as a call for collaborative development partnerships. And significantly, Laura Trevelyan, who has acknowledged her family's role in slavery and is now advocating for reparative action, demonstrates the power of human connection in advancing justice. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, this international gathering in Accra is a source of pride for Ghana and a testament to our shared commitment to professional excellence. And so as we celebrate the progress of our profession, let us also celebrate one of our own. And I join you in congratulating and celebrating Ms. Esther Koba on her election as the incoming president of IPR. Esther's leadership is an inspiration, and her elevation reflects the strength of Ghanaian and African voices on the global continent. And to our international guests who have joined us, I encourage you to explore Accra just not only within the confines of this conference hall. I suggest you visit the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, you visit the Black Star Square, you visit our Independence Arch, and take home with you not only memories of our history, but also the warmth and resilience of the Ghanaian people. And so as you continue your deliberations, may your exchanges strengthen our profession, inspire hope in our society, and contribute to the renewal of Africa and the rest of the world. I thank you. May God bless IPRA, may God bless APRA, and all public relations professionals. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe,
and click on the bell for more updates.